Hello and welcome to my review of Total Recall, starring Colin Farrell, Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Biel, and Bryan Cranston. Now, this is based off a novel that led to a 1990s film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have not seen it, so I'm going into this movie fresh. I went in fresh. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and I'm going to review Total Recall as an auto review monthly, and I'm kind of going to compare and contrast. So let me get into the acting. It's solid. The acting's not bad. It's not horrible. I hear Colin Farrell's a really good actor, but I really haven't seen enough of his movies, I guess you could say. I've seen SWAT and I've seen Fright Night. That's about it. But yeah, he does a very good job as the generic character he is, but I'll get into the writing later. Bryan Cranston's kind of worthless. He plays a very stereotypical villain. Jessica Biel's pretty good. Kate Beckinsale's good. I mean, really, there's not much to say about the acting. It's pretty much the standard. And let me get into my biggest problem with this film, the pacing. This is a boring film. It's hard to say that about an action movie, but an action movie that's action-packed, that has a ton of fight scenes, has bad pacing. It is boring. I wanted this movie to be over really fast. It was long, and it felt even longer than 2 hours. Man. This film is a brutal to sit through. Other than that, that's my main problem, but there is some stuff. Again, the characters are very generic. None of the action scenes seems like they should be in there. Not all of them have to happen. They could have had more dialogue. In fact, that was my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes in the movies where they're like, they're talking to Colin Farrell and they're like, oh no, this isn't real, it's just recall. And someone else says, oh no, they're lying. Although I do have to say, I do appreciate the little nods to Total Recall. I haven't seen the movie, but I know a lot of what happens. I got a basic idea. My favorite one, though, my favorite nod to the original film, is the prostitute with free breast. I'm just saying, that is the scene I've heard about the most of the film, and I'm so glad they put it in there. And it was awesome. It was hilarious. I want to know where she was throughout this whole story. I don't care about Colin Farrell. So, in the end, this film was very boring. The action scenes aren't that good. There's a lot of shaky cam throughout the action scenes, and I really wanted them to stop that. This film's actually pretty good. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but just take this in. The studio that made this movie was called Original Film, and they made a remake. Just saying. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, this film, there's really not much to say. It's just standard, basic action movie with some boring parts. But there is a point where they're going to this one place. I'm not going to tell you where because it could spoil it. But I realized this is no longer Total Recall. It's me playing Fallout 3. I'm just saying. Other than that, there's not much to say. I mean, the directing was fine. Everything was just standard, and it was entertaining at times. And I did forget this. The best thing about this movie is the visuals. This was the one thing that was not standard in this movie. Everything else was really standard, but this was phenomenal. It looked great. It looked awesome. And by that I mean Kate Beckinsale and Jessica Biel. Okay, the sets were good too. I mean, just the world they made, how the colony looks, it looks amazing. It felt like very surreal, and I do give the movie credit for that. It makes a very futuristic world that looks awesome. Other than that, there's really nothing left to it, really. I mean, it's really just a visual feast for the eyes that can bring you some joy. So I'm going to give this film a new rating I am calling Dumb Fun. Tell me what you thought of Total Recall in the comments below, and tell me if you liked the 1990s one, so I can get a positive feedback before I see it tomorrow. And always, please like, favorite, and subscribe.